Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing.
Guess what we're doing? We're working on the exhaust elbow again.
Noticed an exhaust leak.
We do have a spare, so we're going to put that on. Well, it turns out that our spare was not made right. These two holes are never going to line up, and neither are these two holes. Those are the right width, but they're not. That won't line up. Well, it was a bad weld, and I don't know if you can see close up. See the crack? And it cracked right along his weld. He obviously got it too hot, and there's a crack that goes across through there too now. I think we're going to have to figure out some way to firm this up. We may use a high temperature RTV. I don't know. For now, we can't go anywhere.
This is what things look like when you live on a boat and you have to do work on the same boat. That looks pretty solid.
The only concern that I've got about it is, and it was my bad on that part, is when I did my jig, because of how I set up the bracing, this guide hole, I didn't realize how close it came to here. But I've checked it with the bolt that size.
It was pretty close on the original one.
We had to put the nut on the other side, not on.
So we had to finagle this one side to make that work.
Well, that's why, yeah, I want to take a look and see, and then it might be a matter of shortening the bolts a little bit or putting in a new bolt.
Or if we can just get the bolt and get the nut on it.
Yeah, well,
the
nut can come in this side. Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's see how it does.
Flashlight. Fit.
Well, you'd think when you made one out of Iconel that it would have lasted a while. But no.
Down here you can see what this is. Okay, these should be the four that go to the back side there on the manifold.
Oh, okay.
Then we can see if we just get them lined up.
Yeah, oversize the holes on the manifold side just a bit, just to make sure that if there was any walkabouts either way, it could shift a bit.
Does it wobble?
Yeah, but it's finger tight at the moment. I mean, I can still.
You have the ones for that.
I've got ones for there, so
Yeah.
I'm just wanting ones for this one here.
Yeah. See? Some of them are smoother than others, you know, on the threads. If we had a hose exhaust like everybody else, this wouldn't be a problem. This is like making a custom manifold that's got headers. It might not be thick enough. You might need the washers because you might run out of threads.
Well, just checked with the. It should be good. I know it is a little bit thinner than the last plate that was on.
Yeah, and they were pretty close before. Somebody just like hand drilled them. Do you want a third?
Yeah, I just want to check if I can get the other three, and then it's just this.
Then it's just one.
Just one to make line up.
Here's the other bolt.
Well, that's all the bolts in place. But I'd just like to nip it up.
Okay.
And then.
Here's a 7/16, so I can get down there whatever you want. But...
Yeah, no, I'll just. I believe these ones are. It'd be like a 13 mil. Yeah, but it's all around it. I think that my flange is a little bit bigger than the previous one.
Yep. I don't think that matters.
I don't have a nut on the last one here.
You don't have a nut?
Yeah.
Are we missing a nut?
One of these? I don't know, but those were one of the ones that was out.
Yeah, I believe that is it.
If we get a huge amount of smoke out, we'll know that it wasn't flat, right?
Yeah. Look, I do expect there to be a little bit of the...
Oh, of course there's going to be a little bit because it's the metal surfaces aren't even cleaned up. But
So I think
if there's a huge gap, I think we'll see it.
Yeah. But look, when I nipped it up in the jig towards the outside, right on the edges of the rims,
Yep.
it looked like it flared up just a little bit, but where it was in the center, I checked with the light behind it and I didn't get light passing through.
Right.
So I think once it's got gasket material in between the mating faces, if I could just ask you for the other spanner back, the 7/16. Do you by any chance have another one?
Another 7/16? No,
Yeah.
but we have a 7/16 socket.
That would work just fine.
The good thing is that since it's a dry exhaust,
Yeah.
we never get salt water in here.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Which means for 1/8 of an inch metal,
Yeah.
I mean,
That should
last forever.
hold up really well. Yeah. No, I love hearing that.
What did you think of that bellows? Because I never saw inside the bellows. What's it made of?
So it's the two components that you gave me. This one, this flex section that I've cut out,
Yep.
was from the one. But basically, it's the same thing on a smaller scale as the other one. It's just sheathed in this this mesh.
So it is a bellows.
Yeah,
So it's just a 304 bellows.
yeah. It's just much smaller in diameter than the previous one. But it's crazy for me the amount of heat that went into that other part. You know, it's to...
For a thin piece of metal, he welded the shit out of it, didn't
Yeah, no, it's... yeah, it takes running it hot to a whole new level because it's... I mean, if you look at the bead width on his, it really was a to whom it may concern.
Well, if you just compare the size of your beads to his beads, it's...
No, look, and I wasn't running it on... I mean, normally when I'm doing like 2 to 3 millimeter stainless, like 60 to 75 depending on the range.
Yeah.
I was running around 95 to 100 amps for majority of this. So it's because I wanted to ensure
You wanted to
that
make sure you got all the way through.
I got good penetration on it.
Yeah, there's always a difference between just joining two pieces of metal and making them airtight.
Yeah. But all of the, not so much, not on the flanges to tubes because they've got that nice step fill. But on the sections where it's straight pipe to straight pipe, I put a 2 millimeter groove into it.
Yeah,
gets
so
filled up.
you chamfered the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you got to build up from the wedge on the inside of the chamfer.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I did an initial root pass with light filler adding and more looking to ensure that I've got good fusion, and then a full pass afterwards on top. And that's why you'll see that the ones where it's piped to just pipe, that I've actually done a lay wire weave once I've had the root pass in.
Well, you almost have to do that because when you're doing a regular butt weld, they usually don't deal with vibration really well.
Yeah.
So you've got to have basically contiguous metal all the way through. But they look good. They're pretty welds, man.
Thank you.
I mean, they'd pass a test anywhere. They look beautiful.
So they're on at the right angle.
Well, do you want to start it up and see what she does?
Oh, wait, I still got to tighten this one here.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm wondering.
I'm gonna... Have you done anything like this before?
Not engine parts, not engine components. This is the first manifold that I've done. But it is something that I want to do more of.
Well, I mean, the only difference between this and a normal manifold is that you don't have an injection nipple to inject the water in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the process would all be the same, except you'd want to make it out of 3/16 because you're throwing salt water into it.
Yeah, it's quite funny. I'm a certified Garrett's turbo service technician.
Right?
Never seen a turbo, never held a turbo. So I've got qualifications and certifications that I can build turbo manifolds, but I've never seen one. You know, there's a course that I could take, but it's pretty straightforward. I mean, everything else, the first 3 stages of the course was all pretty much understanding how a turbo works. And then when it got to the 4th one, where it was the fabrication and installing, I'm like,
Oh, but that's everything I thought you'd need to do anyway.
Right? I wish I could show you the rest of the exhaust, because from a welding standpoint, I think you'd probably appreciate it. But I'll have to show you some pictures before we go.
Yeah, because we've only got 2 nuts on the manifolds on the side that actually leads to the engine.
You want to put the other 2 nuts on?
Well, I figure if you're wanting to run the motor, it couldn't hurt.
let's just see. I mean, we're gonna pull it off and gasket it anyway.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to see.
Well, I mean, you could. Yeah, it's just with these being studs.
Well,
if
and
those
it's the
were bolts
weird.
as well. You could
You
get
do
away
it.
with it, but
I almost tried to pull those out, and I thought if I break one of those off, I'm gonna be so angry.
yeah.
Or even just strip it.
Well, wasn't one of those studs a little damaged?
Yeah, one of them was a little bad anyway, so don't over tighten them. One of the threads on one of the studs is stretched. Well, what do you think?
Well, the side that's not mounted to the engine, I've got a little bit of gas blowing out of here, and just a little bit on that face. But I mean, it's not dumping it out. But I think
which one are you talking about?
so. I've got it just between this bolt here and this bolt here.
Right.
It's blowing just a bit that way, and then just on the bottom over here, it's blowing a bit.
Do you think that's a lineup thing? Oh, that's stiff as hell, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, look, like I say, I think it's just a little bit of the, because I don't know how close the hole over here for this tube and this tube mates up. It might be that they're offset just a little bit, and in that gap, like I say, in my jig, I had flare up on the outside, but towards the faces, I didn't have any. So it could just be a matter of that. Once she's got the gasket, it'll take up that space.
Well, that's what the gasket's for.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man.
We are grateful for your skills.
No problem. I'm glad it fits. You can see also here, this is the same. This has been done with TIG.
Yep.
Almost looks like it's been brazed, but it's a lay wire as well. So what they've done is they'll probably do a root pass, but this will do it when there's a little bit of a gap, or you want to dump a whole bunch of filler material.
Right, because they're actually filling between 2 pipes.
Yeah. So your filler rod will come in. You'll start your puddle up, get your tack between the 2 pieces, and then you'll start walking the puddle. So if you've got it directed, you'll weave it back and forth, and then lay the filler wire in there so that she keeps taking new metal and weaving it in.
So that whole thing is made of copper nickel.
Yeah, so that is brazing there. But it's...
Well, no, they actually TIG welded it with copper nickel wire. So it's 90-10.
Ah.
Now, that thing is in 4 sections. If you reach your hand down, you can feel below the water jacket there's like I'd say a 60-degree bend.
Yeah.
So you got a 60-degree bend pipe, and then the water jacket starts again.
Oh, okay.
And then it goes for 4 feet,
Yeah.
right? And there's another junction, and it goes for, this whole thing is 14 feet long in 4 sections. Right? Now, it's not straight, right?
Yeah.
It goes through stuff and winds around. So the jackets aren't straight pieces, they're bent with the jacket inside. And they're bent at really weird angles because when it goes back through that closet right behind you, right? It comes straight along the hole like this, then it curves up and goes that way and goes that way.
90-degree turn.
So it's this spirally thing.
Yeah, wow.
Right? It's actually a spiral as it goes up there. And then, of course, it gets to the other side and it follows along the hole with this nice kind of curve. So Sam and I pulled this whole thing out and we walked into this weld shop and we said, I need this. And it's got to fit perfect. And they looked at it with raised eyebrows like, what the hell is this, you know?
First because you bend pipe.
Yeah, it's
And double
We
walled
bend
pipe.
pipe all day long. That's nothing to us. We bend pipe all day.
yeah,
I said, well, you got to bend double wall pipe. How's that?
yeah, it's a little bit more of a challenge. No, I've looked into it, and my dad bought a pipe bender, because I was doing the first stainless steel job I did was a full solar arch on the back of a boat, and he wanted to get into pipe bending, and I was looking at it, and I told him this machine would be much better if we got that one. These really don't suit our purpose, and so he gets one, and he's all excited about it, and I look at it, and it's one of the ones with the hydraulic press that just comes up and it squishes it, and it's like, that might be good for mild steel, but not stainless.
It'll crack.
Not stainless. It'll just crack, and it's like, damn it,
You gotta
bought
have a
machine
roller.
from the States. You shipped it all the way over here, and if you had spoken to me for two, because the rolling stainless is it's a little tricky. There's some guys that'll pack it full of sand and then actually seal it on the end.
So it drops out the back, right below the final hatch back there.
Yeah.
That's how far it runs, and it winds through everything. And then there's a really interesting container at the back, which is the muffler,
Yeah.
right? And it's about this long and about that big around. Okay? You've got exhaust coming in on one side and going out here. So exhaust comes in on the end, and there's a twin that goes out,
Okay.
right? But what they don't want is for water to feed back in there, right? So they've got all these baffles that are cut in the center, so the whole bottom piece can fill up with water,
Yeah.
right?
Not.
But not to the top. And then they've got a top piece so that and the water comes in on the top and the exhaust comes in on the side. So all the raw water comes in on the top, spills over this top thing, runs to the bottom and runs out. But it goes around the pipe that's in the center. So if the boat goes this way, all the water runs that way and the exhaust comes out up there. If the boat rows this way, all the water runs that way and the exhaust bubbles out.
Yeah.
But the water can't get back into the
No,
exhaust.
that's pretty cool. Yeah. No, look, it's.
It's a really wild thing, but it's all made out of bronze.
Yeah.
I think that was the one thing that we didn't replace because it was
we had
fine.
them take apart the muffler and they looked at it and they said, "This is fine. There's nothing wrong with this."
Just leave it.
So they cleaned it up and fixed a couple of cracks in it and things like that, and put it back together. But
No, I've always thought
that
it
was a
must be
chore.
so nice with when they're building the boats. The guys that are doing the exhaust system.
Oh, and it's all open.
And you've got the whole top of the boats off.
Yeah,
you can
you
just
just-
walk down back to the back. There's none of that in
Crawling through
spaces. There's not like 20 yards of bilge in there.
There's our next project. We got to remake the gaskets. Like and subscribe. Help us get a little higher in the ratings. And send a comment. We like comments. Don't we, Live?